Hi everybody, this is Viper4724 and I wanted to bring you the 3.3 match from the return of the God-Pharaoh. I know it's taken a while for me to get this up there and I apologize. I've never lost to him, so hopefully I don't this time. As you can see, I have gotten each point in the last few times that I've played it. As you can see, I do use Nissa 3. And I do use my cycle deck. So here we go. We have Floodwaters, obviously a cycling card, Drakehaven, to continuously build those drakes, Descenter's Deliverance, cycle card, New Perspectives, to give mana to every cycling card and draw 3 cards. Vizier of Tumbling Sands. One, it's a creature, which is important in this match. And I like to use it as a cycling card because it takes away disable if one of your creatures is disabled. Sphinx's Tutelage, huge. If as long as you can keep it on the board, you can reduce or increase his mana cost for his cards to play. Censor, great cycling card. Curator of Mysteries. When you cycle another card, you draw 1 card. Absolutely huge. Need to get that on the board. Chefette Monitor. This is just a great green card to have in any green deck you have, period. Use it to cycle, get the 9 gems, draw a card. It just blows up. And Turn to Frog to kill any creatures if needed. So this is going to be a decently long match. It does take a while to play out. Sorry, it's going to get a little boring towards the end, but yeah, hopefully you like the deck, and I've never lost to him yet, so hopefully this one goes well. So his ability is to take the last 2 cards in your hand and exile them, then the last 2 creatures you control on the battlefield are exiled, and you take 40 damage. The goal is to get the match over before he's able to use that ability, and if he is able to use that ability, minimize that to 1 single time. Okay, so we have a great starting hand. The problem is he'll probably kill my Curator of Mysteries a few times. Let's get the Drakehaven out on the board and then work on the Curator of Mysteries. So, just a basic thing that I've never really talked about before. If you have your main match towards the top of the board, look down to see if you can place something beneath it that'll drop it into place. In this specific case, we're going to get a black and green match, and we're going to use the white gem to do that. So we're able to get Drakehaven and Curator of Mysteries out on the board in the first turn. He wasn't even able to play his first card, which is great. That's a great start, but we don't really have anything to play off of at this point. So, get as much mana as we possibly can. At the same time, it is extremely important that we are building to her 3rd ability. Once we get her 3rd ability, every time you cycle a card, each card in your hand gains 2 mana, and each creature you control gets +4/+4. So with the Drakehaven and her 3rd ability on the board, that makes it possible to get +16/+16 every single turn. That's huge, and it's exactly what we're looking for. And we get to that point. Once we finally get to that point, we just cycle through until we are able to destroy him. That's the basic of this. You need to work hard to get there, but once you get there, it is an easy win. So to get there, you need to get New Perspectives, Drakehaven on the board, and the Curator of Mysteries out. And then from that point, use the Chefette Monitor to get to her third ability, and you need to make sure that you have a third creature on the board. So from here, I'm actually going to use the sensor on his first creature, or on his first card in his hand. Before that, I'm going to cycle and hope to get Chefette Monitor. That's a great card to get. Really going to help us out next turn. As you can see, I can't use them right now. Always make sure you are pausing your cards from playing so you can't play a cycling card that you need in the future. I do like to get a couple supports out. As you can see, Sphinx Tutelage only has 2 to start with. We're not going to bust that up yet. We're going to use the green match. Going to use that sensor, hope that it works. Hope that it takes away another one of his turns, which it helps. Okay, so still not able to use the Chefette Monitor. After this turn, we'll be able to use the Chefette and hopefully start moving. Side note, make sure you have, if you don't have one of the cards that you need, like right now I need New Perspectives, make sure you have an open spot in your hand to draw next time. Also, I am going to cycle with the mana that I do have available to me. Notice I am drawing 2 cards at a time because the Curator of Mysteries. Like I said before, make sure you have a spot open, so I am going to delete a card. Everything is paused in my hand, so nothing can play. And the problem right now is, the part that sucks right now is I need a color match. I need mana in my hand. And I'm not, well, I guess I am going to get it, but I'm also going to hurt my Sphinx's Tutelage, which is not good. Okay, so he still hasn't made it to his first card out. Kind of worried about that. What we're going to do, use that Chefette Monitor. I'm going to get rid of one of the turn to frogs. Hopefully at this point we will fill our entire hand with mana. There we go. You can see how well it bust. Pretty awesome. Very helpful. As you can see, we're already to our third ability. Once we get to our third ability, it is not necessary to have New Perspectives on the board. It's still nice to have as a backup. At this point, I would really like a Sphinx's Tutelage because I do want to get one more creature on the board, which is going to be the Vizier of Tumbling Sands. I'm also going to hold another one in my hand, and I'm going to hold the Curator of Mysteries in my hand because if he comes up with a creature destroy card, he is going to destroy the Curator of Mysteries. And you definitely don't want to lose your Curator. As you can see, I am getting the extra mana per turn now. There's our New Perspectives. The goal right now is to cycle enough cards to just play that for free. I'm just going to play the Chefette, get the extra green matches. Now, right now, for me, the board isn't looking very good. No matter what I play, he's going to have a great match and probably get a couple extra out of it. I'm going to hold the Curator Mysteries in my hand. I'm going to play the Vizier, and I'm going to play the New Perspectives. Hold on to everything else. Okay, so he's probably going to mess up my plan here, but I have all 3 creatures on the board that I need. This is the quickest way to build. As you can see, is already down to 400. About as long as he doesn't kill something of mine. That's definitely not nearly as bad as what could have happened. This is why I keep the turn to frog in my hand. He has imminent doom. Also, that is the card of the week. If you don't have it, I suggest getting it. This is the only card of this set that I would suggest definitely buying and getting. It's a great card every time you play a spell. The support gains 1 shield, so it's hard to get away. And your opponent takes X damage where it's the number of the shield. It's an exciting card. It only costs 10 to play. It's awesome. And if you're ever lucky enough to get Wildfire Eternal, who gives full mana to the first spell in your hand, it's a fun combo. Obviously, that's why our opponent here uses it. So I held on to the Vizier. We're going to keep that. We're going to use that frog. We're going to get rid of everything else. Okay, so he has a card that dealt 12 damage to everything. It's not a very fun card to play against. I definitely don't want it to kill anything. Pretty happy there. If something does happen, I just got the Sphinx's tutelage. We're going to play that. We're going to play another new perspectives because we're going to use the frog. We're going to use the Vizier, so we're going to put cards back in our hand. Plank everything out. Hold on to the Curator of Mysteries like I talked about before. So as you can see, before I even get all 3 creatures out, I'm already at 86 damage. It's going to make the next couple turns very quick. And especially you play the Sphinx's tutelage before you play new perspectives, period. Always, all the time. It's worth it. Get the tutelage down, then play your new perspectives because you get 3 draws out of that, which increases the cost of your opponent's card by 6. As you can see, the card that he had in the first spot is now in his second spot, and there's a new card in the first spot. So everything that we do, I have to assume that that is going to continue to be the best card in his hand. At this point, we are going to win the match. All I'm doing is cycling from here on out. If you want to stop watching now, you can. If you want to get to the end and see if anything fun happens, it's possible. I am going to use every card in my hand to cycle. If I do get a Chefette monitor, I try to not use it right away because I don't want to blow up the board and I don't want to accidentally blow up my supports. If you lose a support, chances are you're going to have to play a couple more turns. I haven't been paying attention to what turn I'm on, but he has not been able to get his first ability. That's the goal. So overall, pretty easy match. Every turn that I got, I was able to do exactly what I needed to and wanted to. Like I said, I've never lost to him before. I have had faster, easier matches, and I've had longer, harder matches than this. Not much harder, though. He's got amazing cards. Obviously, an absolutely phenomenal first ability. But this deck can tear most anything apart. It's pretty hard to lose with this deck. And now you can see I'm getting a lot of Chefette monitors, so I'm going to have to start using them. It usually doesn't ruin your day, but the goal is to definitely not have 3 monitors in your hand. So like I said, pretty boring. It's a true cycling deck. Getting our +4/+4 every turn. Keeping our hand clean of anything that's going to take up space so we can draw as many cards as possible. I don't know how that got first. But like I said before, I'm getting +4/+4 from the 2 Drakes. And then I'm getting +4/+4 on every single creature, getting +16/+16 every turn. This is the fastest cycling deck that I have seen or came up with. If you have any suggestions, please, I'm always open to them. If you have any other cards that you'd like to try out in this deck, I'm more than happy to throw them in there and see how they perform. If you're against cycling, I completely understand. It does make it decently easy, and it does take a decent amount of time. I would say if I wasn't in a top tier coalition and we weren't competing for top 10, I would probably try out a few other decks. But being the leader of that coalition, I like to have, or at least compete to be the top spot in my coalition every event. And having a winning formula, I go with it, and I'm going for as many points as I possibly can. As you can see, I got another Chefette monitor, so now I have 4 in my hand. That's not fun, but we are very close to our goal. Right now, we are sitting at 218, 264, I believe. So we're getting there. So with the 264, and now we have almost all Chefette monitors in our hand. Only have 3 or 4 more cards that we have to cycle through. The worst thing that we could possibly lose right now, make us take a longer time, would be the Aspire. I'm still going to hold on to all those Chefettes as long as I possibly can. Use as many other cycling cards as I can. Now, great point here. If I was earlier in the match, if I was having problems with this match, I would be using this Dissenter's Deliverance and getting rid of that Imminent Doom. You have to be extremely careful with him dealing damage to you. With the Hellfire, the black card that deals damage and then multiplies by 7 for how many are in your graveyard, he can easily kill you in 2 turns, 3 turns with that card. Use 1 each turn and just take you out very quickly. So be very careful with that. Pay attention if that card is played. Okay, so we are almost there. We are going to have to play a Chefette now. It's not going to ruin our game. I believe we have made it. I'm not going to take the time to get an exact count, but I'm almost positive I would win right now. I am just going to use 1 more. There it is. 376, I believe, will be the total damage. I'm going to pause everything in my hand. Nothing's going to play. I don't want another turn. As you can see, I can take another turn if I wanted to. I don't want it. There we go. 14 damage. Sometimes I have taken more damage than that. It's not very... I can't remember any time that I've taken 0 damage. But we get our reward, 50. Got our second objective, killed one of his creatures. Got our third objective, played 6 supports. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you're able to take some ideas away from this, even if you don't have the exact deck. Yeah, thanks again. Have a great night, guys.